Hi everyone, welcome back. Once again, starting in traffic. But what I wanted to talk a little bit more about today is kind of how I was able to stop using social media on my phone. And I guess specifically, I never had TikTok, so maybe that's a whole different beast. And if you're trying to get off TikTok, there needs to be like extra help or intervention. I don't know how addicting that one is, but I never had TikTok because I knew how much Instagram like affected me, how easily I would fall into doom scrolling on it. And I was like, I don't need another app where I need to doom scroll. So like in college, I was on all the apps, like when Be Real came out, Be Real as well, Snapchat, Instagram, and then I don't really count YouTube, but now that they have YouTube Shorts, I do think that it has like that aspect of doom scrolling, so YouTube. And now I don't have any of those apps on my phone. The only time that I like to have YouTube on my phone is when I'm at work and if I want to listen to a podcast that's not on Spotify for some reason. Yeah, so it took a while. It took a bit to find the habits that worked for me and allowed me to consistently not use Instagram. And I say that to preface all of this because I also searched for a lot of ways to kind of like speed up the process, but inevitably like it just happened when it happened. And I think just the practice of one, setting the intention over and over again, like I don't want to be looking at social media and all of that. I think that like telling that to myself over and over in my head probably helped, and then just trying as many different things until I found what clicked for me. So I just want to preface that and encourage you to try different things if one thing isn't working for you. Again, along the same lines of one solution's not gonna fit everybody's needs. So kind of think about what are the elements of social media that you don't like, and then maybe that helps you find a strategy for how to combat those specific things. So I'll like do mine for an example, and if anybody else kind of feels the same way, then hopefully this helps you. So for me, one thing I kind of realized was how much time I was spending on it, and then especially being out of school and now like I go to work and then I have free time after work and then I have my weekends. I was like very aware of what I was doing in my free time, and I didn't like that I was spending a lot of it on my phone and scrolling, and my screen time was like really high. Go figure. So that was one of the things I didn't like. And then another thing that I realized a little bit later, because maybe I didn't want to admit it, was kind of how it was affecting me mentally to be on the Explorer page of Instagram and start comparing my life to other people's highlight reels. So I feel that I'm very easily, I guess the right word is influenced, but I don't see it as in, no, well, that's the right word. Well, I guess we'll just expose myself. I feel like I'm very easily influenced, but I think that comes from a positive part of my personality, which is that I'm open to trying new things and I like exploring. And so I got a bunch of like the travel like videos and stuff, right? And then it's like, oh, I wish I could travel every day and blah, blah, blah. But I think what helped me kind of notice that one and kind of realize like, oh, I want to break out of this cycle is just thinking more about like, well, what does it take for someone to literally vlog like their entire trip or to always be on camera like that, and then deciding like, do I really want that? Am I up for that? And so that kind of separated a little bit more for me and reminded me that like these are just like normal humans too, but that's their work. So unless I want that to be my work, then let's be inspired by their travels, and maybe we could get ideas of like where to go, but let's not be sad and be comparing. So that was like those are like the two main reasons why I decided to get social media off of my phone. So I went about this a couple of different ways. So first it was just like the good old cold turkey, just randomly when I would just be fed up with I just get tired of of how I was feeling on Instagram, I just delete it from my phone. And it's usually for like a weekend or a week, and then I would, as a treat, like give it back to myself on the weekend, which obviously would not work. And then it's just like I catch up on all the doom scrolling over the weekend. So I tried that strategy like multiple times because I was convinced like I'll learn how to be healthy on social media and be okay with it. And you know what? That's just not what I needed in the moment. I think I needed a really long break, which is what I've been doing right now. And that has really helped me feel so much more, which is so much more time and so much more real estate in my brain to like think. So that was like the first step that I tried. And even though it failed, I think it was helpful to keep trying and then keep failing, because then it I guess inevitably helped me think of, okay, well, this is not working, so what else can we do? So then I was like, okay, I'm just going to delete the Instagram app completely off of my phone, not re-download it, and I can only use Instagram Safari. So yeah, real ones know I'd be on the Instagram Safari for a while, and I could not like vote on your story polls or reply very well with like emojis and stuff because I was on Safari version and it's not compatible with a lot of those things. So that was what I did for a while, and that one was like was pretty good. The thought behind that one was, okay, it's slower, so you're less likely to spend more time on it because you'll just get frustrated that it's not as fast as you're used to. It was a way to make the Explorer version like a little less appealing because of the lagginess, and so I would use it for what I was telling myself was just what I wanted it for, which is to just keep up with my family and friends. So that worked for a while, but then I don't know if they just like made the Safari version better or if I got better at handling it, but it kind of turned into the same thing where it wasn't really stopping me from going on the Explorer page, which was the whole point. And then I still found myself slowly, like my screen time was increasing. So I was like, okay, clearly I'm not ready for that step yet either. So then the final thing that I did, and what is working for me right now, is that I figured out that, which figured out is a big word, but I didn't think about this, and then I figured it out, that I can block like websites from my browsers on my phone, which sometimes I forget that our phones are literally just like mini computers, but whatever. So I blocked Instagram from my Safari page, because I used to use like the time limits. So even when you're on Safari version of an app that you have a time limit on iPhone, it'll show up. But I mean, raise your hand if you press remind me later every single time. Yeah, that's me. So I blocked it, and so then I tested it, and every time I would go on the Instagram Safari or browser or whatever, it would say like, oh, restricted, like can't access because this is denied. So that ended up working really well for me, because I was like, okay, there's no way for me to see Instagram on my phone. So I would say the first, I don't know, like a week or so was like rough, because I would pick up my phone in random parts of the day and just hold it. And then that's how I realized how like dependent or used to just picking up my phone and scrolling I was. And then that kind of fueled my desire to be off of social media. So it kind of helped, I guess, in a sense. And so now it's been like, almost 3 months that I've had no social media on my phone. And I feel really good. I feel like I have a lot of mental space. And I feel like it's helped me become more confident in me. And I don't know if there's a day where I can find a balance with social media. I think that's the part that I'm still trying to find out. But I think right now I'm okay just not having it on my phone. I do have it obviously it's on the internet. So sometimes when I'm on my computer and my laptop, I let myself like search it on that browser and just like catch up with what everyone's been posting. And that only happens like once every 2 weeks, sometimes a little bit more depending on like the situation. But it definitely does not compare to when you have your phone and you have just like infinite scroll time. So sometimes I still get into like the doom scroll, but it's so much less, and every time it happens, then it's like a good reminder of like, okay, this is exactly why I can't have it on my phone, because I'm not ready yet, because obviously sometimes I still doom scroll on my computer. So it's not perfect, but I think that it is definitely enough, and it has allowed me to get a little bit of time and space back. And I've been able to see how I've been able to use that time for other things. And so I guess I'm just trying to, just be more intentional and purposeful with my time, and doom scrolling just doesn't fit into that. So hopefully one of these tips can be helpful if you are kind of feeling like in the same rut. Because I used to really not think that it was even a problem and that I could stop whenever I wanted. But obviously I really couldn't, because when I tried, then it didn't work. So that kind of also scared me, because I was like, whoa, I didn't think that this was me. So being able to get rid of it and prove to myself that I don't need it is kind of what I wanted. And I think I've done that, and I think I'm going to keep doing it until I have a better plan or want to try a new strategy, and I'll keep you guys updated on how that goes. But for right now, I feel very happy with this decision. And the thought at first of like not being able to catch up with friends and family was pretty daunting, but I think it kind of pushed me to be more intentional and reach out outside of social media. And I think that's also valuable, because it can seem like you're keeping up with someone just through social media, but I feel like if we really think about it, it's kind of weird that that you can communicate so much without speaking to someone. So I don't know, just trying to bring a little bit of that back. And obviously social media is here to stay, so finding a way to coexist with it is just kind of what I want, and that's the end goal for me. So if you have any strategies that have helped you be more mindful with your social media use, or figure out a way to lower your screen time, please drop them in the comments below, because I feel like I would appreciate any tips, even though I feel that I'm in a good place now. You never know, so I think it'd be cool to kind of use the space below to help each other and drop down our strategies. So a little bit of a shorter one today. That's all I got. Have a good week.